ready to do January 10th, 2024, and we've been working on the same scene. You can hear the defeat in my voice because maybe this is the kind of level where I start getting better because I just want to see it done. Got my coffee over to the right. We are live, and it is Wednesday. Where is my stylus? I require my stylus. And here we are. And we're in here like this. Oh. Come in. So, like most of these things, I wonder about what am I going to talk about, right? Like, what am I going to fill an hour with? And the thing is, some of my favorite kind of material, let's just stop that for a second. My favorite kind of material is comedy. I like comedy stuff a lot. And, oh no. I'm hearing myself in my ear and it sucks. Trying to send a text. Ooh. Oh, got a text message out of nowhere. What is this? Oh. Oh, I see what's going on there. Okay. So let's stop this because I can't listen to myself or put myself in the ear. Okay. All right. So let's raise this up a little bit. There we go. That's really the right place to put it. And what is she doing? She's reaching down. Actually, I have notes from yesterday. Why don't we check those out? Those are clear, concise dialogue, sketch out panels. Oh, clear, concise dialogue. I was going to work on that earlier today. Did not get that figured out. Get the rectangle tail of Jammer worked out. Finalize Oliver's book bag. See, I knew I was going to mess that up if I didn't actually write it out. Giving yourself good notes is really important. Oh, I wonder if I got anything. Oh, I got a little Nick Vatu here. Sup, Nick Vatu? I hope you weren't there long. All right, let's get in here. What are we going to do? Come down here a little bit. She gets into the bag. I don't know. I don't think that's that important. Then we get this one. Then we get this one. Oh, this one's not too bad. Why don't we get in here and get some detail on this? Oop! Didn't want to do that. All right. And then we have... So he's kind of singing. This is actually a better drawing. Why don't we come in here and just kind of develop this a little bit more? Then we have this. And then we'll end it there. Well, it's kind of interesting because these details in here don't, I mean, we can go without getting into them too much, but all right, let's come in here. Let's add a little bit on this side. Then we got this. All right. Let's drop this down a little bit. Come down. And then we got this one. So it's kind of interesting, like what's going to happen throughout 2024, huh? It's really difficult to predict what might happen. And I think the reason why people are holding out is because 2020 was so wild. That people are just like, oh, yeah, well, that happened. There was a moment in time where that happened. And so they don't want to make premonitions about the future. I don't know. Let's see. His tail's a little big, but that's okay. I think that with this style, we can get away with it. So why don't we start to kind of build this border up. Wonder if I can get a whole ink blot on there. Oop. A little messy, but we're trying to tighten it up a little bit. You know, I can kind of see why podcasts are really difficult. Because, yeah, I can talk. I can have a conversation. I mean, that's probably why the Joe Rogan thing has to have a guest. You know, you're just having a quizzical conversation with somebody. I can't necessarily just have a conversation with myself. So, I mean, I guess I could, and it's not like I don't have an internal dialogue. I remember someone really close to me saying that they said, you know, some people have an internal dialogue, but some people don't. But when I went to college, they said that everyone has an internal dialogue. So I was always really wondering, who should you believe? You know, and the person who wasn't the academic was saying it very matter of fact. Or you just kind of trust yourself. Or it's almost impossible to know, at least right now. I think it's going to be interesting in the future if you could hear other people's thoughts. That's really going to change the dynamic, huh? You know, if you're connected to some sort of network that can conceptualize your thoughts. And, you know, because it's kind of interesting. There's an aspect of that with social media, which is whether or not the person's available or not. The one thing I thought was really interesting about social media was that there were certain guys that would traditionally thrive before social media. And these guys were, you know, to an extent, liars. And they could BS their way into a decent lifestyle. But now we're getting into a point where it's not, I'm not saying liars aren't benefiting or building something in life, but it's more that, what would we say? How would we say this? That the social media makes it difficult. Like, let's say, for example, like those guys who used to like start multiple families and like have them and yeah, and like not tell anybody about his existence. I always feel like there has to be someone involved in that concept where someone's a little compliant or, you know, specifically looking the other way. I could totally see that. Kind of weird, but I can still see it. Um, um, and here we go. And there should be a shadow underneath him, huh? We could at least do that, right? That would make more sense. Give us some more reality in the space. I used to hate that concept of like building a reality, and it just it's interesting because if you do keep it similar to the real world in making the decisions of what is important in the real world, because some people don't know. Other people have different thoughts than me, and they don't know. They don't know what I know. Oh, I'm so smart. Yes, I'm just such a smart boy. Let's see, and then we'll kind of go up like this. Drop a load on that. A bucket of black paint, rather. And then, okay, so Jammer's going to stay there. I feel like we're going to have to take Oliver's book bag off and maybe change the composition of this image. But for now, we're just going to keep it like this. What is this? 56. So let's do this. Go all the way. Let's go all the way. Boom, 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 boom. Like, how am I going to beat the AI? I think the way to beat the AI is to stay organic and to not try to get too fancy and develop your skills and make creative decisions because they're creative. And I feel pretty confident that I can get around the AI. I could be wrong. Perhaps the AI will take over and I'll be out of work. But I don't think so. I think it's more like I'll be working with AI as a tool. It had to be wildly scary when Photoshop came out for a lot of contemporary artists because it was over for them. And I wonder, am I like being one of those old people by still drawing? Well, this is a digital tablet. It's not that crazy. There's a guy on Twitch that I follow is a really good illustrator. He's good at designing characters, and I'm not sure really what he's designing it for. It kind of gives the impression of like a narrative, but it's definitely not a narrative. All right, let's see. We got this one. Where are we at? This one. Maybe, gosh, I don't want to do that panel. All right, I'm sick of looking at this one. I'm going to have to pull out another project. I got to get something fresh in my brain. Maybe something on Series B. That's Series B. Oh, this could be a good one. Let's get into this one. Yeah. Let's push this one. I don't want to think too much right now. We'll get back to it. Oh, this isn't too bad. This has already got a lot of detail in it. But yeah, let's push it a little bit farther. Also, let's lighten up the background for the viewer. Yeah, that's a little much for me, but I'll make it work for y'all. All right, here we are. They're showing a film in my alma mater, and I wasn't able to do it. I wasn't able to go to it because I was going to be streaming. And I think it's kind of interesting, like when you start to make decisions that you're going to do something, it means you have to say no to other things. And that was something I definitely wanted to do. I could envision myself going up to Albany Park to the university and going up there, paying $10 to see a movie and coming home, reflecting on it and thinking about having gone to that school. It was really reminiscing about the past. Let me tell you something. There are so many folks who are big into reminiscing on the past, and it just seems like, don't get me wrong, it's fun to an extent, but you really got to stay away from that. There's way more to live for. Self-aggrandization based on nostalgic thought, beliefs based on, sometimes it's that you're nostalgic because the world was simpler at that time, and you had a more enthusiastic approach of the world. Everything was very fresh. You were about to start your life. I mean, things like that. And then you're like, because the potential is really big. And then the potential is met with reality. And some of us push through it, and some of us don't. Some of us try to escape back to a time where things were simpler and they were easier. And I feel like Colonel Spitz is wearing mittens. He's wearing mittens. Yeah. But also, it's better than some other things. It's kind of interesting. I had a meeting with somebody today who told me that most people want to make things and most people want to do things with their life. And I said, that's not true. Most people just kind of chill where they were born, and that's it. Like, they kind of just hang out in that area and try to figure out how to stay alive and stay warm in the winter, things like that. And he goes, well, I think that's kind of trashy. And I go, yeah, but what you said was most people. I'm saying I disagree. I think most people are like that. And then he goes ahead and starts explaining to me the Ubermensch. Yes. And he did a really good job of explaining it. I used to get really into Nietzsche myself. I don't recommend Nietzsche. It's not for the faint-hearted. But this guy, he's pretty smart. He's not going to get affected by it. But, yeah, I mean, I think that most people are giving into entropy because that is the way of the universe. Everything is trying to... the interesting thing about space is, though, once you get thrusted in one direction, because there's no atmosphere to slow you down, you will perpetually move in that direction until something stops you from going in that direction, which I think is maybe one of the most difficult things for us planet dwellers to over. Anybody in the chat live in space? If you do, don't be shy. You can say something. But most of the people, I think probably most of the people who will listen to this stream are dwelling on Earth. I think it would be kind of cool to put the space cats into space. No atmosphere. How do they do that? How do they get you to float on Earth? I'd like to know more about that. Ooh, yeah, I'm just going to have to work through this, huh? Yeah, let's push this. Still haven't heard back from C2E2. I'm kind of nervous about it. I keep posting. I'm sure they've been doing a little bit of research. Haven't made a decision. I really think they should put me on Artist Alley, though. But maybe they won't. I've never applied. I got a no reply from Image Comics. It's kind of interesting because I wonder... All I'll say, folks, is that I know that these aren't getting very many views, but I have a feeling that that's just for now. I have a feeling. I have a hunch. Oh, there we go. The one thing that's kind of tough is these anthropomorphic cats are kind of like generic American cartoon style from the 1950s and earlier. This is kind of a style that was coming out. Cats kept doing well. Felix the cat. Fritz the cat. Fritz the Cat's from the 70s. That's from Ralph Bakshi. You know, interesting enough, there was this time in over 10 years ago. It's crazy to think now. I've always heard old people say that, God, has it really been? And I really feel that way. Therefore, I am now that person. I was sitting on the couch, and I was trying to figure out how to animate a movie. The crazy thing at the time was I didn't even know how to use Photoshop. I didn't know how to use a bunch of tools that were necessary, nor did I have the computational power. So I didn't have the know-how, nor did I have the computational power to pull it off. I felt confident that computers were affordable enough and that they were only going to get cheaper based on my concept on value. But most of my concept on value was products that eventually started to go out of style. Well, the thing is, the computers kind of they've basically kind of tapered off in the amount of hardware necessary to do the work that's needed for most people. And they've maintained their value, but the hardware does wear out. So then they still need to buy new stuff. So it's not like you're buying a shovel from the 1920s that you only have to buy one ever. You know, we live in a time of built-in obsolescence. And so anyway, I hear an interview from Ralph Bakshi. Actually, I bet it'd be kind of cool to play it. No, I'm gonna stay on this. But basically, he's the guy who made the movie. He made the animated Lord of the Rings. He made Fire and Ice, which the concept work was done by Frank Frazetta. He did, what else did he do? He did a movie called Coonskin. He did a movie called Cool World. He did a lot of independent animated movies. I mean, really, he's kind of in a category all on his own because most people don't do what he does. There's one other guy in Florida named Bill Plimpton, and he's been doing it for a long time, and he used to sell animated shorts to television. He actually started making a lot of money when cable came out. You've actually seen some of his stuff. I mean, Nickelodeon bought some stuff from him. MTV bought stuff from him. He started to thrive at a certain point. But then he recently just put out a movie where the star character was Hitler. And I just thought it was a really odd move. I mean, I understand the idea of animation as an art, but it also does serve a utility. So you have to be realistic about what's going on in the world and how people consume things. Because, yeah, you might be able to touch a fringe market. And, you know, unless you're wildly passionate about it, then go for it. I mean, if you really are like, listen, this is my voice, I'm just communicating my voice, then that's what this is about. And it'll probably find someone else. It'll really serve its purpose. But if you want a house, I don't know. The United States is really big, and servicing the market is a really beneficial thing. And so, you know, I think there's a way to do both. You know, you don't have to continuously be obtuse. You know, there's a way to do this. It's interesting that the Cap Federation is CF and Conformity Farm is CF. You know, Facebook's been acting kind of weird on me for a multitude of things. I'm going to have to give them a call on Friday. I'll tell you guys about that. So anyone who's paying attention to this saga will know that I have a Facebook call. Generally, they're just like phone reps, people who they don't really know the ins and outs of Facebook. They just, you know, they have the permissions to do certain things that you can't do from your phone, and that's basically what they're there for. Because I've asked some shop questions, and they're very like, I don't know, I've never heard of that. And you're like, oh, you're not really engaging your market, are you? They'll just hire anybody. Just about. Very nice people, though. Very nice. Mm-hmm. It's too bad I can't tell you guys what I got going on in my head. That's really what it is. I should be in a situation where I can unload that stuff whenever. Well, we're past Christmas time. You know, it was supposed to be like 9 inches of snow today, and we didn't get any of it. Where is my cursor? There we go. Now let's erase it. Oh, because they're not on the right level. That's what it is. Yeah, we were supposed to get a lot of snow today. All right, that's how good the talking has gotten. I'm talking about weather. I wonder how much time someone can fill, really. There's a lot of really successful podcasts that just come out once a week, and I know they save up what they're going to talk about, and some of them struggle to get the whole hour done. So I'll hit my groove at some point. The objective is to get this drawn. I should make a supercut of me going, this isn't about the talking, this is about the drawing, and that's really all it's freaking about, okay? All right. Let's see where we at here. Yeah, maybe get some more going on in the face. Yep. I wonder, what are these, got any numbers? Let's see. Oh, that's not right. You know, YouTube doesn't even tell me when I'm going live. It's kind of weird. Nope. And what about on this one? Nope. Well, there we go. Okay. So let's get in here, get this texture done. Oop. Noel, Noel. What are people doing on a Sunday night, huh? Ooh, we do the dot method here on the face. The dot method isn't used enough. That can add a lot of texture. What if I make it my goal to say Todd McFarlane's name every single stream? Just say the word Todd McFarlane. Ooh. No. Ooh. All right. Just adding the texture. Just keep adding texture. Where's the shadow at? I guess the shadow would be right here, huh? Well, let's make sure all the bases are covered that way. I think when it comes to all these drawings that are coming up from now on, we're really in finishing mode. Yeah, that kind of makes it work. I just keep texturing and then keep highlighting, coming back and forth, making sure to highlight the parts that we think are important. I think that's a really good key. Finishing up correctly with these kinds of drawings, I think, really does it. But it's a lot of work. I wonder if other artists can see it and go, whoa, 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 why are you doing all that? Oops. There we go. There it is in his military jacket. I wonder if we cut this out stylistically. That might be a good move. I don't know anybody trying to pull that off. It doesn't seem like a very good move. Yeah, see, I like that look better. I think I was just traditionally putting the little hairs on the top. What are we going to do in here? There we go. Kind of jut the mouth forward a little bit more, like this. Shot through the heart, you're too late, darling. You give love a bad name. Whoa, it doesn't take long to get to this hour, huh? Already How long are we into the stream? We are... Oh, we're just halfway. So we're not that crazy on. What do we do next? Let's see. You give love a bad name. Maybe what I could do is I could play some music in the background. Kind of keep the mood chill. Let's see. See, the tough thing is if I just play music, you know what I kind of want to do? I kind of want to put that Cat Williams interview in the background. No, that's not fair. Let's do coding, streaming music. So we got to get that royalty-free music in there, just to keep things chill, you know. And that chill music should be able to carry us through. Where is restreams? Damn. Someone said, "Greetings, y'all. I'm starting as a front-end dev. What suggestions do you have for coding any first job? I'm currently getting to hang a JavaScript, and I'm eager to get into React." Oh, that's definitely not part of my stream. I thought that was part of my stream. Oh, some hackers trying to talk about hacking. Talking about coding, rather. I was about to say, this is not... You thought this was the stream to find out about development? Guy drawing a cat? No, sir, you've come to the wrong place. So we can kind of do this gradual build up around the nose. I mean, if anything, I'd really like the face to have a lot going on here. This could be actually a pretty big image. Actually, this could be actually a really big image. Let's see. This is the weirdest time for people to send me messages. That's interesting. Social media is really interesting for my age group now, because it's interesting to see who spends time paying attention. How to ride the L. Interesting. It's kind of interesting too. No, I'm not going to bring it up. I have interesting thoughts that go by in my head, but they're not structured, and I feel like a conversation allows them to come out a little bit easier. I do have like kind of rapid fire thoughts about society and things like that, and I think that's really what motivates my storytelling, which is my ability to convey some of my thoughts or my opinions about society through, satire or through, just doing it through storytelling. Instead of telling people my kind of absurd perspectives, I show it in a story, giving the outcomes that I want. So I have a lot of control over it. It's more effective than trying to tell people straight up, especially in this town. In old Chi-Town, let me tell you something. Ain't no one here trying to get converted in their ideas. No, if you don't say things exactly how they want you to say them, then you're, it's, yeah, I don't know. I got to not get frustrated with people. This music really helps me get an epiphany, really, honestly. A lot of my epiphanies come from really beautiful music playing when I don't expect it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, life is good. Oh, yeah, sorry, Grandma. I'll come visit you. Oh, my God, thinking about that. I have a grandma that I do need to go visit. She's so good to me. I need to go and visit her and listen to her stories. But it's funny? I don't even think she wants to tell me a bunch of stories. She's not that kind of lady. I think she just wants to spend time. So if in that time I wanted to spend the time talking, I don't think that she would mind. I think she would really like it. I actually think she would like it more if we just kind of sat in relative silence and didn't do a lot of talking. We were just kind of being together. So I know you might be thinking, that sounds like a pretty cool grandma. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Gotta celebrate Grandma. Yeah, she's pretty cool. Grandma's pretty cool. Yeah, she done been good to me. 100%. She done been good to me, and she's getting old and frail, and I just want y'all to know, she's a good grandma. Man, being an elder has to be something kind of weird, because it's you're on your way out, and there's no one who said that you were good to your elders. That makes me wonder how many people are bullshitting being good to their elders when they weren't good to their elders, but they know that their elder time is on its way up. I don't know. But there's a lot of societies in the Eastern Hemisphere where taking care of the elderly is a super important thing. I think it's pretty important here, but I think also we have generations here where people are starting to kind of say, hey, listen, they definitely were my parents, but they were self-consumed, self-centered people who really didn't do a lot for me. I mean, I existed, I'm alive, but doing the bare minimum, I don't know if that's something that needs to be celebrated. And I think that's very hard on people because they maybe weren't aware that you were going to be able to make a choice like that. Or I don't know what they thought. I think a lot of people just don't think very far into the future. Right? Finance, you might think I've heard people go, oh, I just don't know very much about finance. And it's well, if you understand the concept of that in the future someone will want it so bad that they'll pay its price, and you're taking on the risk by holding on to this asset. But I mean, if I don't know, that's a tough one too. That's why people don't give. Yeah, financial advice is interesting. If you don't know anything about finances at all, I recommend that you study some level of really just accounting. And economics is fine to check out, but economics is basically where you observe financial events after they happen. You're more like a financial historian. I'm not sure that actually helps predict financial things in the future. I literally told James not to talk about money while I'm on here. Is there a difference between money and finance? I think I'm stretching it if I say there is. I'm sorry, James. You could have been here for this. Well, James mostly talks about making money. He doesn't really talk about investing yet. He will be, though. He'll be talking about stocks and ish. He'll be talking about companies and stuff. Maybe we come in here and start doing some hard lines. Where are we here? Where are we at? This is good though. If I could just stay on the treadmill for just as long. Where are we at here? 40 minutes, 46. Okay. Okay. There we go. So let's get some specific lines, some clear lines, huh? Getting a little lazy. Pull it together. Pull it together. Back it up. Let's do it again. He's a little scraggly because he's older. This part. Yeah, that lines up pretty well. Gonna have to bring in secondary and tertiary shadows, but this is all right. The mouth is kind of off, but he's an old guy. He's an old cat, literally. I had a football coach that referred to all the players as cats, at least the ones he liked. Oh, this sends out emails. I did get a notification. YouTube hasn't let me down entirely. Entirely. Wonder if there's something we could do here with the eyes. Really dive in here. There it is. Oh, and then the eyes have to be on the same. I'm still learning. Ooh, one of his eyes is one eye's black and one eye's white. I'm keeping that idea. Let's see how this looks. I like it. Let's keep it. do like this Dottie technique. Oh, Dottie. I don't mind this. Still not moving as fast as I'd like, but this is definitely adding more to it. And Colonel spits with 2 different eyes. I mean, that's a good move. Hey, call me Mila. All right, I can call you Mila. Hi, Mila. Here we are. Hey, call me Mila. All right, I can call you 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 Mila. Hi, Mila. Here we are. Hey, call me Mila. Mila. Hi, Mila. We are here on the stream drawing cats in space, Myla. That's what we're doing with our time. How is your day going? Uh-oh. Hello, everybody. Ooh. Ooh. Not too bad. I'm glad I put the time into this one. Not too bad. That's not true. Where are we at here? All right, that's about an hour in. Thanks for hanging out. I actually, this was a tougher day. You know when they say that you got to do things when you don't feel like doing them? I would say today is definitely one of those days. But I got through it, contributed another hour to the book, and we'll be back tomorrow for a much longer day. All right, everyone, be good.